All right. Hello, Cancer. This is going to be a timeless reading, although I am recording it in September of 2023. So whenever you find this, maybe it applies to your situation. Um, Disclaimer, when I am reading this, I'm often doing it from the perspective of the Cancer ascendant person. You can still sit and watch this and apply it to whatever placement you'd like, but just know that your ascendant might resonate more with you, or if you're a cross watcher, you know what to do. Watch your person's ascendant, etc. Please keep in mind that this is a collective energy. That means that not everything in the situation is going to fit, and if it does, then it is definitely your message. Whatever you do not know with 100% certainty, do not take it and run with it. Do not bring it back into your situation. Do not keep it in your mind. Do not keep it in your thoughts. It will only then manifest. So that's my disclaimer. Go ahead and thumbs up or subscribe if you end up liking this. You can always leave a comment below or check out my description box for my link to Instagram and follow me there for daily collective pulls as well as weekly tarot scopes. Sometimes I also will do weekly donation-based or weekend donation-based readings, as well as giveaways for full readings. So with that being said, this is how it's going to go. This is going to be the theme of the story itself. This is the plot, and this is the clarification on our characters or significant events. Let's get it started. I'm going to light this. Okay. What's going on for my Cancers? What is the theme of the story? Your card, the Moon. We've also got Mask, so you might be masking your emotions and your feelings at this time. You might also be, oh yeah, and you have mice. So people might be all up in your business right now. People might be talking about particular things within your life. There may be a lot of chatter or discussion. This also warns to make sure that you pay attention to the people around you, because there might be some loss somewhere, or some, usually it's like a theft card. It's kind of similar to the Seven of Swords. Also, it can also be about abundance, but I feel like with Mask and with the Moon, you really need to pay attention to your environment. You really need to pay attention to the people you surround yourself with. And I think more importantly, who knows, maybe you're masking how you feel in order to observe these people. Maybe you are playing a particular role in order to not to have to show your feelings right now. I think you've got a mean poker face going. Not sure why, but I'm sure we'll find out. All right, what is the significator for Cancer? The Three of Swords in reverse. This is why you're masking your feelings. You might be repressing some emotions. You might be going through a loss, or you might be in the process of accepting something. Let's see what's crossing you. The Nine of Wands. Guarded much? Protecting yourself? Makes sense. I mean, you guys have a tendency to retreat into your shell when you need to protect yourself, and that's exactly what this card is. I think you're trying really hard to mask how you feel, because I think there is something happening right now for you that is making you quite emotional. Maybe you are grieving a loss of something in your life. Maybe there is this pending heartache, or this heartache that you've been feeling that you've been trying to not show. Maybe there's something difficult going on in your environment or with the people that you're surrounded by. You're not happy with something, though. I know that for certain. You're hiding it well, too well. Part of this too is maybe you have secluded yourself in a very particular way. Maybe people can tell that you are protecting yourself because maybe you're not as open as you normally are. Maybe you're not as gregarious as you normally are. But like I said, you're hiding this very well. Let's see what is in the subconscious. Okay, Eight of Cups in reverse. This is why. Subconsciously, you're still emotionally processing something that happened in the past. I think you're still holding on to something emotionally as well. I don't think you've let it go yet. Maybe that's why this Three of Swords is also in the reverse, and maybe it's why it's requiring you to be in this energy, because you're still processing everything. You're still working through things emotionally. It's almost like one of those things where you want to say, you know what? When I know and I want to talk about it, I'll talk about it. But right now, I don't want to talk about it. When I fully form my thoughts and feelings on this issue, then I will talk about it. Or it could be you revisiting a significant event that you never fully healed from and you're processing it currently. That's another way I could read this. Let's see what happened in the recent past. The Six of Pentacles in reverse. Maybe you stopped giving to a situation. Maybe somebody stopped giving to you. Maybe you feel in some sense slighted or rejected. Maybe you feel as if the investments you put out into something are not being returned to you. Maybe you feel like you're being taken for granted. That is another thing here. That's another thing with these mice. So the thing with the card is that these mice are eating everything, right? They're eating everything. They're taking everything and then they disappear. And maybe that's what this is about. Maybe you feel as if someone is doing this to you. Maybe you feel as if, in general, people do this to you. Maybe that's why you're kind of, we'll say, sussing out or sniffing out these types of people in your environment. And maybe you're trying to deal with them with a poker face because you're just trying to figure things out and you're trying to maybe, we'll say, remove these things from your life or be in the process of removing them. What is in your conscious mind, the forefront of your mind? The Four of Swords, healing. You are in such a reflective state right now. I think you've realized the truth about something. I think you're still processing it here because I don't think this is fully let go of, especially with the Eight of Cups in reverse. I don't think you've emotionally fully let go of this, or emotionally fully have allowed yourself to release yourself from this in your life. But I think you're in contemplation. I think you're in meditation. I think that you are trying to find the answers. Maybe you're doing a lot of processing in your dreams. Maybe you're having very interesting dreams. But you're trying to rest up. There's definitely a retreated energy from the world. I do think there's a significant betrayal that's occurred. Or something that feels that way, at least. Even if it's you betraying yourself. What's happening in the near future? The Six of Cups in reverse. My. For some of you, you could have things going on with your children. Maybe there's difficult conversations happening around them or with them. Maybe there is reflections, like I was saying, on things from the past. Maybe there are things that happened in the past that caused this kind of disconnect or will cause a disconnect. think you're really distancing yourself. And I see why, and I understand why. I really do think that you're trying to make sure you're good so that you can deal with this appropriately. You're trying to make sure that you're solid mentally, emotionally. You're trying to make sure that there's like that feeling of being stabilized. But I think accepting this is really hard. Like it's almost like even the fond memories of this thing can't make up for um, what has happened. Maybe you feel like you're reliving a significant event from the past. Maybe you feel as if there's a repeat going on here where uh, maybe you feel drained of your time, energy, and resources. Maybe you feel as if you've poured a lot of yourself into something and aren't really receiving the support or recognition that you need from whatever this is. Um, because something about this feels like it can't regenerate. Like there's not enough to regenerate whatever this is. Um, there's not enough to fix whatever this is. So I think you're like taking a time out to like process and figure out the solution or figure out the truth or figure out your next steps. Because after the Four of Swords, we have the Five in a natural progression. I will be interested to see if that comes out. I feel like it will. But once we hit the Five, it is the conflict, right? The approaching the conflict of the pain, approaching the conflict of trying to make peace with something or trying to make peace with the individual that it transpired with or it involves or individuals. What is going on in your emotional body? The Nine of Swords. Yeah, you are stressing. So anxious. What's happening in your environment? Ace of Cups in reverse. Woo. Okay. Either someone here is seeking forgiveness, whether that is you, whether that is another person. This can also be perceived as rejection. Once that's why I was like, I feel like there's something about rejection here, whether that is you rejecting another person or a person rejecting you. Um, it feels like you're revisiting a really uncomfortable situation, either from your past or in the current moment that reflects the past. Maybe it's an accumulation or a compilation of these feelings, but there's something here that is closing you off big time. And like you're operating in the world and you're acting fine and you have this wonderful mask on that says and translates like, yeah, everything's great, everything's gravy, I'm fine. But like at night, underneath the surface, you are plagued, you are conflicted, you are reliving certain things, you are worried, you are thinking about things that have happened, things that have been said, things that have been done. Whether these are words that hurt, which more than likely they are, um, or these memories. It's like reliving these memories. And it can feel like a nightmare. Maybe you're having nightmares. Maybe emotionally processing this stuff is, once again, happening in your sleep and it's giving you nightmares, or it feels like they're nightmares, or it feels as if it's a very like weighted, heavy energy on you that you're trying to subconsciously process. But it has so much to do with these deep emotions around neglect or around rejection or around love in particular. I mean, this is even if it whether it is about a relationship or not in a romantic sense, this is about love in all forms. When I'm looking at this is about the love we have of ourselves, the love we have for others, the way people show their love to us, and just the overall blanket of love. Like, what is love? What are the varying degrees of love? It's all of it. Like it feels like this mixture of deep pain, and I don't know why I want to say beauty, but there is beauty somewhere in there. I just feel like it's like trying to find it. It's trying to find the beauty. It's trying to find the hope. It's trying to find the way out of whatever this pain is, or whatever this process is, or whatever this feeling of neglect is. What is in the hopes and fears? I'll tell you what, I'm pretty positive that every single reading has had this in the hopes and fears. And Aries, Taurus, and Gemini all had it. No, Aries and Gemini had it. Taurus did not. What's in the hopes and fears? One more card. Yeah. I think you feel like either somebody is rejecting your apology, is rejecting what it is that you have to offer, even if it's to fix things. This is weird for hopes and fears. Like it's like both being hopeful that you'll be able to let this go, and being fearful that this will challenge you or this will impact you in some way that I think, once again, can bring up this jaded energy, or brings up this energy of being closed off. I also think that you don't want to have to defend yourself. There's something about this that feels very repetitive. I think this has happened before. I don't think this is your first rodeo with this. But there's a very particular energy that's like on repeat here. It almost feels like, oh, I don't want to have to like defend myself again. I don't want to have to defend my actions. I don't want to have to explain myself. I don't want to have to do all these things. Or I don't want somebody to push me out. I don't want somebody to, once again, reject me, push me away. I don't want to feel this. I don't want to go through this period. I don't want to go through the period of loss. I don't want to go through the period of grief. I don't want to go through these feelings of remorse. So it's like being fearful that one can't recover. Being fearful that you can't pick up the pieces. Being fearful that, like this is it. This is it. In a very dramatic fashion, like I'm never gonna love again. I'm never gonna find this again, or I'm never gonna da 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 da. Or like, why does this always happen to me? It feels so blues. What's in the far-reaching outcome? Three of Pentacles, the Hermit, and the Knight of Swords with the Death card on the bottom. Look, I definitely think you're focusing on building something. I think you're focusing on creating something that has roots and has a foundation and has this ability to be built upon. I definitely feel like it's already been invested in. So it could be a project, it could be a job. But I also feel like you're in this like deep thought about like, what am I doing? What am I doing? Like, am I doing the same thing again? Like, there's something very significant about 3 in this reading, right? We've got the 3 of Swords. We've got the 3 of Pentacles. We've got the 3 of Cups and this 5 of Cups. The 3 of Swords and this 4 of Swords. The 3 of Cups again here and this 8 of Cups. Like, there's something very significant about 3. 3 of Pentacles over here. There's something about 3. So like maybe this is the 3rd time that something like this has happened. Maybe it feels as if, this is very similar to Gemini's reading. Sorry, I was just thinking about the whole like, I laughed and I was like, 4th time's a charm, right? But it just feels like you're trying to figure out how to build something and how to grow something, because it also feels like something wants to come in and damage it, or something wants to come in and end it, or something wants to come in and destroy it in some way. We're going to go ahead and do clarifiers because this is a very tight reading. Let's clarify the 3 of Swords here. The 8 of Pentacles. You're definitely focusing on work and career, for sure. I think you're hiding from this. Let's clarify the 9 of Wands and the blockage. Not that much. Got the 6 of Cups in reverse. Yeah. Let's clarify the 8 of Cups in reverse. The Prince of Wands. Let's clarify the 6 of Pentacles in reverse. Got the Princess of Swords. Let's clarify the 4 of Swords. The Chariot. Let's clarify the 6 of Cups in reverse. The 4 of Cups and the 7 of Wands. Yeah. Watch Gemini's reading. Let's clarify the 9 of Swords, the 7 of Pentacles in reverse. Let's clarify the 8 of Cups in reverse, the High Priestess in reverse. Let's clarify the 7 of Wands, 4 of Wands in reverse. Let's clarify the 5 of Cups, Death in reverse. Yeah. Let's clarify the 3 of Pentacles, 8 of Cups in reverse. Let's clarify the Hermit, 6 of Swords in reverse. Let's clarify the Knight of Swords, the 10 of Swords in reverse. As I said, I think you're very afraid that something is going to come in and destroy this, or hurt it, or ruin it, or force quit it, right? I think you're revisiting a very particular person or project in this 8 of Cups right here in reverse, because it's also over here with 3 of Pentacles. So maybe you've been missing someone, maybe the disconnect or the pain or the hurt, or if a situation transpired, you've been trying to save face, or you've been trying to act like everything's okay, but deep down maybe you really miss this person, or maybe you want to repair things, and that's kind of what's been happening here, where I think you've been trying to focus on work, trying to move forward on what you're building, trying to build your career, trying to build stability for yourself. But it feels like there's this emotional thing that's occurring that it's everything's at odds right now inside of you. And I don't think anybody sees this. I really don't. Great face you put on. I don't think anybody sees this. But, you know, you've been going back and forth on something for a while, whether that's emotionally, mentally, physically. And I think you've just really been trying to observe something, or someone has been observing you. That is also a potential here. Because it feels like you're blocked off from something, or it feels like you can't do something, or it feels like you are held back in some way, whether that is you holding yourself back or another feeling like another person is holding you back. But you're trying to move ahead. That's the thing with the Chariot that I love that this is here, by the way. I think despite what you were facing, you were moving ahead. You were forging ahead. There is no other option but that, right? Even if you're hurting, even if you're processing things, you're still moving forward. I think you get up and you put one foot in front of the other every day. I don't see this as somebody who's like unable to move, unable to get out of bed, unable to do anything. I feel like you keep getting up and you keep doing the thing because it's almost like nobody can know about this. That's what is interesting. It's almost like no one can know that you're feeling this way. Maybe that is also a part of the problem. But it feels like nothing is satisfying you right now. Or it feels like you keep extending yourself in some way and you keep getting rejected in some way. Maybe you've been trying to fix something for a while and you just, you keep running into an issue. Or it's almost like somebody's ungrateful, or someone doesn't know how to receive love, or someone doesn't know how to extend love properly. We'll call it properly. Because the thing with the Four of Cups is that it can be about overconsumption to the point to where like it just doesn't do anything anymore. It's like a drug. Like once you take enough of it, you need a stronger dose. And then eventually that doesn't do anything anymore. And it's kind of like that. Like it gets to this point to where just nothing quite touches what once used to do it for you. So I feel as if there's like this block that's been put on something, or like this like, like getting a taste of something and then all of a sudden feeling as if it's been completely restricted from ever being experienced again. I mean, I also think that there's stuff going on here about maybe being super in debt, because Six of Pentacles in reverse can definitely be about that. And like trying to get out of it, trying to build your way out of it, trying to do what you can to get out of it. But it also, is about trying to do the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result with the Eight of Pentacles. Trying to perfect something, trying to fix the issue, trying to get it to where you can be sustained off of it. But in the context of this like emotional thing, it just feels like you're overwhelmed, that you're kind of like losing a bunch of stuff at once. Like maybe it feels like you're starting to lose all these things that you invested in, or maybe it feels like one by one these issues keep popping up and it's like draining you. It's pulling more and more and more out of you, and it's causing you to get really stressed out because all of a sudden it's like, okay, I've got 5 different things that I am being told I need to either fix or repair, and I don't have what it takes to do that right now, or I don't have what it is that I need. So like, am I going to lose it? Am I going to have it taken away from me? Like, what is that? Like, what do I do? What do I do? I mean, for some of you, this is fears about feeling as if somebody no longer wants to invest in you. In the environment around you, you have the High Priestess in reverse with the Ace of Cups in reverse. There might have been something that was said out loud that was originally a secret, or originally kept under wraps, or originally held back in some way. So it's almost like maybe somebody got really upset because they found something out, or maybe somebody got really upset because something was finally said that has been kept under wraps for some time. It just feels like so much is being processed here. Because then over here in Hopes and Fears with the 7 of Wands and the 5 of Cups, with the 4 of Wands in reverse and the Death card in reverse, is it's almost like this could be fear of losing your stability, fear of losing your home, fear of things falling apart, no longer having that stability or those things that you can depend upon or rely upon. And with the Death card here, like, that very well may be the case. Like, you might actually need to process what it is that you're letting go of, or what it is that you're losing. Because you keep going back to work on this thing. You keep going back to this thing that, like, never really fully got to take off. You keep going back to it with the 8 of Cups in reverse and the 6 of Swords in reverse. You keep returning to it. Or maybe like you were only able to fix it so much. And like you're trying to go back to it to check on its progress. Or you're having to continually go back to an issue or a conflict or a conversation that just never stops. Like, it's like somebody can't forget. Whether that is you or another person. And I just feel like it just want like, it's like, just drop it, right? Like, for fuck's sake, can we just end it? Like, can we stop having all of this confusion and this arguing, or this like passive aggressive behavior, or this thing being held over my head, or all these questions about something that I don't even have the answers to because I'm not even sure myself. Like, I'm just gonna keep it moving. I have to keep moving, because if I don't, and I let this pull me down, I'm not going to have the strength that I need. I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm not going to be able to lead. I'm not going to be able to be this person that I've worked so hard to become if I allow this to destroy me. I mean, for some of you, somebody is definitely, what's the word, emasculating you. Like, somebody's tearing you down. With that Emperor card. Like, criticizing your strength, criticizing your ability to lead, criticizing your credibility. And I don't know, it just feels like all this stuff is coming to the surface all at once. And I think it's like reliving and reprocessing these really deep fears and these deep feelings. I was staring at that Three of Pentacles and that Six of Swords in reverse and the Eight of Cups in reverse and the Hermit, and I was like, man, you just keep. It's almost like asking that question, like, man, why do I keep coming back to this? Why do I keep? What is it? Like, what is it? Why do I keep coming back to this? And then I split the deck and I was like, because it makes you happy. You know, there's something about this that provides a lot of joy, that provides a lot of buoyancy, that provides a lot of abundance, feelings of abundance at least, right? But it's like, it can't do anything right now. It can't, like, it's just in this stage of like perpetual pause. So it's like disconnect, deal with this, go back to it, get this, disconnect, go to this, and go back, get this. It's just such an off and on thing. It's really funny. I mean, it's not funny. I'm sorry. Once again, from the perspective of being a person who's looking at like this entire story on the table, I think sometimes you can see the answer in the pieces and like the spot, what needs to change, but it's a lot harder to actually implement. Because it requires healing, it requires processing, it requires letting go, it requires like the grieving processes, and it's harder. It's also interesting because every single reading I've done thus far is really challenging, and it's about letting stuff go. And I think it's because I'm recording this about a month, shy of a month, less than a month until the next eclipse. And this eclipse really is about personal autonomy, relationship conflict, renegotiating relationships, finding new relationships, letting go of old relationships, having these agreements and this, like I said, restructuring of agreements, marriage, divorce. Like there's just so much going on in it. But it's like definitely an eclipse that is underlined as enough is enough. These are my terms. These are my conditions. If you cannot follow them, I am done. Or I am not signing this. Or I am not agreeing to this anymore. We are renegotiating our terms. So, Cancer, if that resonated with you, drop your situation down below. Like, subscribe, check out my Instagram page for daily content or more frequent content, because on here I'm pretty much going to try to only post about once a month, maybe more, but for now once a month. And I wish you the best of luck. I wish you well. You'll get through it. Everybody's going to get through it. Just some big changes to get us to the other side. See you guys next time.